Welcome back to my channel. It is Only Oracle here today with a pick a card reading. So today's topic is fun and light. It's a very easy reading we're going to be doing. It's nothing too crazy, but we're back with some love because we know I love love. And we're looking at the best and worst traits of your future spouse. Life is all about balance, okay? For every great thing, there are also some negative things, as always. Nothing is absolutely perfect, but that doesn't mean it's not worth it. And I think that is something to keep in mind as you go through these piles, that like everyone has good and bad traits, and if someone is well in tuned, I think you can hardly even know their bad traits unless they're in deep times of stress. You know, I think times of stress is where our kind of less happy colors come out, but if you're generally happy together, which you should be with your future spouse, then you might not see them that often. So anyway, I have 4 piles here today. Pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, and pile 4. Take a second, see which pile calls to you, and then when you're ready, you can jump to the timestamp in the description to see the best and worst traits of your future spouse. And I will see you there. Bye. Okay, hello pile 1. If you picked this card, the 𝖫𝖊𝖘𝖙 quartz, then this is going to be your reading. So let's first read the card. It says, I am mindful of the energetic connections between others and myself. I automatically remove unhealthy cords of attachment. So we're going to look at the best and worst traits of your future spouse, but I do feel like this is the 𝖫𝖊𝖘𝖙 quartz. Oh my gosh, I'm just gonna say the quartz, okay? I think it's the message there really leads me to believe that your person is very good at cutting people off. But let's see their positive traits. So we're gonna see what the best traits of pile number 1's. Okay, and then the worst trait. Okay. So, we have scribe, preserving knowledge and information, and prostitute. For some of you, your future spouse may be a writer, okay? They may write a lot, they may journal a lot, and I think their best trait is that they are, I feel this learner energy where they're constantly learning, and something about them is very original, and I think that's one of their best traits. We're gonna get some more cards before we dive into their, taking one step at a time here and look at the light attributes of pile number 1's. Okay, I feel like it's something in here, yeah. Light attributes. Yeah. Your future spouse, pile number 1, is very, I want to say lucky is like the word for them. They're just someone who, they may not be spiritual, or they may, but they have, and I feel this, I'm getting shivers, an innate understanding of the world. They are just one of those naturally intuitive people who I think know when it's time to leave a situation, know when it's time to push someone, know when it's time to hang back. I think this is something, yeah, I'm getting shivers. They have incredible timing. So that's one of their best traits is, this is the type of person, more shivers, that will be there when you need them. And it's like, you may not even know you need them, but they know you need them. This person has great timing. And so if they're in sync with you, this is your future spouse, and with the Wheel of Fortune here, I think they're always there when you need them. It's just, they just know. They just have it's almost as if, I don't know how energetically connected you are, if you're twin flames or whatever, but it's like they have this connection to you in that way, where they'll know what's going on. And I also see more books here. So another great trait about your future spouse is they may be very into books, reading, learning. I get that very strong. They're very much truth seekers. I think they're more of a thinker than a feeler, but for some reason, it's like they have both. I don't know. This is someone who's just, I think the word people would say to describe them is like lovely, or easy to be around, easy to like. Again, I'm mindful of the energetic connections between myself and others. Like, this person is not a person to push too hard or to pull away too much. They're always I feel like they keep the lines of communication open so long as it doesn't harm them. And that's very important because they automatically remove unhealthy cords of attachment. Yeah, okay, and this is coming out for the good traits. So with the Seven of Swords here, this is definitely someone who is more of a thinker than a feeler naturally, and I was drawn to the sword in the Wheel of Fortune. But with the Seven of Swords, part of why they may be such a lucky person or fortuitous person is because they're really good planners. So this person could plan an awesome party for you, or just is really good at having plans for their own life. They may write a lot of things down, which is of course always helpful. Again, they write a lot, they learn a lot, and they in general they're very good with their I don't know, I'm kind of feeling like they're good with their hands for a lot of them. They're good with their hands and they're good with plans. That rhymes. And I do think they can be quite fashionable with how this guy, I don't know, just the walk of it gives me the idea that another great trait about your spouse is they know how to dress well, they know how to put things together. They kind of just have it all. But let's look at their shadow attributes because we might get some more. I feel like we have more light attributes, but I want to kind of balance the scales here because I feel like we're getting a lot into all the great things about them. So the not so great things about them, I think they can, it's not that they can be a sellout. I don't, like some of them could be a sellout, but it's not necessarily that. It's just, I mean, I'm reading the shadow attribute of prostitute is places material considerations and security above self-empowerment. They can kind of put themselves into situations that are, yeah, I hear not good for them, even though they know, because they're mindful of it, they know, but because they want money or they need money or they kind of have hoarder energy to me where they may kind of hoard their wealth, not in a bad way where they can't be generous, but I think it's more of a mindset with this person is their negative trait is they can fall into a lack mindset very easily. Like they don't have enough. And this lack mindset can lead them to go into dangerous situations or situations that aren't good for them or aren't empowering to them because they're looking to make some money. I feel like it is this card. Yeah. And the page. Look at this. Wow. Okay. So we have the Strength card in reverse and the Page of Pentacles. Yeah, this Strength card in reverse definitely indicates to me that one of their worst traits is they can be a little stubborn about the wrong things, I feel like, for instance, I'm getting an example of like you tell them, well, I don't want you to go to that thing because I don't think it's very safe. Like the weather's bad. And they're like, well, I have to go. I'm going to make $50 there. Like I was supposed to DJ there or something. And you're like, what is that $50 DJ? Like, it's not worth it. The weather's really bad. Just stay home. And they're like, no, I'm going to go. Something like that. That can kind of be like a bad trait of theirs. I also feel like there's I didn't preface this in the beginning, but I will for the other pals. Any negative trait, bad or good, is relative. And what do I mean by that? I mean that no trait is always bad all the time and no trait is only good all the time. Because if you're broke and starving in the street and you need food, this is a person to do whatever it takes to make sure that you get some money and so that you can eat. So like dependent on situations, their negatives can be positives and their positives can be negative. But I do think this is a very strong person too. I feel they're very strong emotionally, or I get the energy that they did not grow up with money. Yeah, Spirit's like, no, most of these people did not grow up with a lot of money. They grew up rather poor, which is why they may place money and wealth at a very high level because they've struggled and they don't want to struggle again. Also with this Page of Pentacles, I think they can be a little superficial in some ways. I feel like they can make snap judgments on people based off of how they look. And it's not, when I mean snap judgments, I'm not saying this person will necessarily, I get this. Like, it's not necessarily that they're like, oh, he's ugly, he's not worth talking to. Like, that's not they're like, no, that's not their mentality. More so, it's like, you know how you place people into categories when you see them? It's like, if someone is wearing, how do I even describe this? There are like indicators that people use when they see people, and this person will I think they have a tendency to place people into like kind of brackets or categories based on what they look like or how they interact. It's like they can be very snap judgment after they meet a person. And I think they can be a little concerned with their appearance. I don't know, I'm getting Leo energy here where they can be a little vain at times. And again, this isn't really it can be a good thing because obviously they take care of their appearance, but it's like sometimes I get the feeling with their shadow attribute is like they think too much and sometimes they worry about the wrong things. it's like the things that they don't need to be worrying about. And you're like, I can kind of see you guys being like, why does that even matter? Like, that should not matter. And to be honest, I kind of hear this person saying, like, I don't know why it matters to me. It just does. And a lot of this, I hate to say it, but it may go back to childhood traumas. Like, if they were bullied or they were poor, you know, they have this, like, I have to make up for it mindset. Like, there's a lack mindset here that this person struggles with. And we have the Fool. Yeah, I think they're working to work away from this, though. So this does seem like I'm getting shivers. This does seem like someone who works with their shadow side quite frequently, or the worst traits of them. It's like, I feel like with the Fool, surprisingly, they're aware of this. Like, they're aware of the kind of the claws scratching, or they're aware of this negative trait of themselves. And I think they actively work to not be like that, or to try to be more open-minded, or to be less, you know, kind of superficial or money-oriented. But it's kind of like I hear old habits die hard. So it's kind of just like something that may pop up. And I don't feel like this is a super negative trait. This is your future spouse. But I don't know. I'm not getting that you find this to be super negative. I think you can find it to be a little annoying and sometimes a little like challenging, but it's not, obviously this is not a deal breaker if this is your future spouse. Yeah, I kind of feel like they're demons. They feel like their demons kind of just follow them, and they try and deal with it, but it's like, you know, they deal with one, but they fall into another. So, yeah, let's see anything else for their good traits. The good traits. Whoa. I feel like they want you to know all of these. Yeah. Yeah, they're very in touch with spirit. Move this over. Okay. Whoa, they may have strong water. I mean, I see all the signs here, but they may also have strong water in their chart, and that is Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. They could be one of those signs, or they just have that somewhere very important and prominent, like their moon or their Venus, or their, like, water houses. They may have water there, so. This person, other good traits about them is that they're very, like I told you, they know about their lack mindset, or they know that this is a problem they have, and so they actively work to release these things. Like, this is a person who goes through many transformations in their life. I think this is a person, I hear you'll never be bored with them. It's not really possible because, I also get a sense of humor. I didn't note that earlier, but for their good traits, they also have a sense of humor. But this is someone you'll never get bored with because they're always growing, they're always changing. I think, I hear the word you use for them is you find them fascinating. Like, they're a fascinating person to be around. And they are constantly trying to improve themselves. They never, I feel like they don't take anything for granted. Like, that's the good part of their shadow attribute. Like, the bad part is obviously they have this, like, kind of money hungry energy, or they can be kind of a little stingy or a little superficial and vain, but they're, like, aware of that, and they constantly work to better that or lessen that because they want to be the best version of themselves. That's what I'm saying with this person, with the transformation card. They constantly are transforming, but they know, look at how this fell out. The surrender and then the roots in between transformation. I see with the roots, like, again, they know this stems from their childhood. This stems from having nothing when they were little. That's why they're like this. But it's also like they can't, you know, like I hear this like old habits die hard. I think they have it under control for the most part. I don't know if they're wealthy yet, so this may be also something they're working towards, which is why it's so at the forefront of their mind. But I hear them just keep saying, like, yeah, old habits die hard, man. Like, it's hard for me to let go of that when it was something that was so prominent in their childhood, the effects of poverty or the effects of struggle. Or just feeling very lack. I mean, even if they had money, they still felt lack, or they still felt like they didn't fit in or something. There's a lot of, like, feeling outcasted, so you have to make up for it in some way. Yeah. So, let's see. Do they have anything else for best and worst traits? Either one. Let's take either one here. Yeah. Oh, what a sweetie. All right. I feel like it's this one. Okay. These are the final cards I'm pulling here. This is a short and sweet reading, but they're very wise. Like I told you, prudence. I just think this person has a ton of intelligence, a ton of intelligence. I think they're fascinating to listen to. I think if they do write anything, you like reading it. I don't know. They're just they have intellect is like one of their top traits and one of the best things about them. And also just how they plan. It's like they have such a bright mind and they constantly work to improve it. They're not someone who's just satisfied with their intelligence just to kind of squander it. This is someone who actively works with it. Yeah, actively works with their intelligence. And that's, honestly, I feel like you find that really attractive. I find that really attractive, but it seems like you also find that really attractive. But I don't know. I also get the sense that this person they kind of wear their heart on their sleeve. Like, at the core of it, all the planning they do is because they just love so much. I don't know if it could be that they're a very just loving partner, or they just love people, or their friends, or close family members, or just the world at large, or society. But with this Prudence card, yeah, I'm getting shivers. I get that this person wants to make the world better. That is one of their best traits. I think it's one of the things you love the way they love. I think you love the way they love you and the way they love the world or people in general. They just have a great heart, I think, and you love their heart. That's one of their best traits. And then with this Prince of Wands falling out in reverse, I feel as if another one of the traits they want you to know about is sometimes they can get like impatient, and they know they have to slow down. Like, I don't know, they have a line. Like they might struggle with just being prideful, like kind of an ego thing sometimes, and like moving a lot, or just being focused. I said before, focused on like the wrong things or bad details that they don't need to worry about. But with this Prince of Wands in reverse, it is interesting because I feel as if your future spouse is saying that they are working to slow down. Like, they know that they can be kind of like go, 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 or a little too high strung in some ways, and they're working to slow themselves down and have patience with themselves to get to where they want to go. They're learning patience. Patience is something I don't think they have, but they're learning. Yeah, and even going back to this quartz, this I am mindful, the energetic connections, I do feel like they've had maybe bad experiences with people, or they have put their life on hold to take care of people, or I hear specifically their family, that they're actively working to cut those cords that are not healthy for them so they can live a better life. Like, they're almost in some ways too loving, where they can be a little bit like they have this inner strength and this steeliness for weird random things, but for other things where it's like you should probably put up a boundary, they're like, no, it's totally fine. And so I think that's something you have to work with this person. But again, I don't think this is a deal breaker for you. It doesn't seem like it seems like it's well managed by this person, and they're willing to acknowledge their faults. So it's not like you are telling them like, oh, you're so stubborn. And they're like, no, I'm not stubborn. I'm totally not stubborn. Like, no, they're the type to be like, yeah, I'm stubborn. I'm working on it, man. Like, give me some time. So yeah, definitely have some lion energy. I think they can be very prideful, very impatient, kind of get snappy when they're upset, or when they're just under stress, or they feel like they have to, I feel like especially maybe money, like if money is a struggle, they can get a little impatient. But yeah, they're and it's also because when they are being impatient, it's because they're normally, I feel like it's because they're actively working to make more wealth, or they're actively working to try and cultivate money. And so yeah, they'll snap because it's like, I'm trying to like build this, and they'll just, kind of have a little attitude. But it's okay, like I said, they're working on it. And I think this is a person, to quickly apologize, and like they're quick to catch what they do wrong. So this isn't somewhere where you have to have repeated conversations about how they do this wrong, like, and they don't catch it. It's like, if you talk to them once and say like, that was mean, like when you say things like that hurts my feelings, the next time they do it, they're quick to be like, oh, snaps, like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that way, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings, babe, or whatever, so yeah. But I will leave it there. So that's what I'm seeing for you, pile one. If you enjoyed this reading, comment down below, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Okay, hello, pile two. If you chose the turquoise, then this is going to be your reading. Your person had 2 cards pop out. I don't know if the color green or blue, those kind of stones are significant, but we have 2 cards here for you. And the first one says, I am always at the right place at the right time with the right people, and I observe in my surroundings and know I am divinely guided. Okay. So right away, pile number 2, I feel that your person is very intuitive, and they're very observant. So they'll notice things before other people do, and I think it's like they know where to be. Like, they just know where to be too. It's kind of similar to pile 1, but this is different. Like, pile 2 is observant, so it's almost as if part of this is from experience. It's like they've experienced crap situations or something, where they're very good at knowing where to go. I think they also may have just a very good sense of direction, but they are, it's like even if they get lost, they're going in the right direction. So even if they get on the GPS and they meant to go to the bread store and they end up at the, the corner bodega, it's like they were supposed to go to that bodega because then they get a free bagel. They know what's going on around them too. They're very observant and they're very sensory. I think that would be the word, where they're intuitive, but it's not at the cost of being heads in the cloud. Yeah, I don't feel heads in the cloud, but let's look into what their best trait is. This is the best trait. Also, when I was shuffling for your pile, I felt like it was hard to come out. So this may be someone who is, I don't know if it's necessarily hard to catch, but it's kind of like they don't, I don't know. This may be someone who would want you to get to know them rather than channel them. I don't know. I felt some resistance for some reason with this pile. But you have rescuer. So yeah, this is definitely someone who, and we're gonna get the negative trait too real quick. All right, the worst. Yeah, that felt like that. Okay. So stick with this rescuer one first. They are a rescuer. I don't know. I feel like that would actually be the word for them. Maybe they work in a nonprofit, or they work to help people, or they're a counselor or a therapist or something. But the light attribute is provide strength and support to others in crisis, acts out of love and with no expectation of reward. And I have shivers because I feel like that is exactly your spouse. They are a pillar of strength for people who feel weak. I think people are easily drawn to them because of this. They seem like someone that people would be drawn to. And the thing is, they don't do this because of like I feel like I hear them saying like, I don't do this for the money, or I don't do this to be seen as a good person. I do it because it's the right thing to do. I do it because I love to help people, yeah, they do it out of the goodness of their heart. Or also I hear for some of them because their hearts have been broken and they don't want the same thing to happen to other people. So this is a giving person for sure. Let's see what else for their, actually I feel like I'm on the wrong deck there. For their good traits. They're very loving, but I'm drawn to the whole. So I feel like they do this stuff, but sometimes it's not, the action isn't empty, but they feel empty inside. Yeah, it's really sad. Like, I don't know, I get a tinge of loneliness. Okay. Their best traits. I feel like this person is like your wish come true, whatever that is. I feel like that was what they were saying specifically. But also there's just kind of but I feel this person saying, not even this person, well, kind of. I feel like I'm talking to your person a little more than I did in the first pile, or spirit. But I also feel like this person is saying they're your dream come true. So whatever you've been looking for, the best traits of a partner, this person's going to have that. But also that they're not egotistical about it, but I feel like they're a lot of people's dreams, like they're someone who a lot of people like, or a lot of people, I mean, obviously with this energy, this heart, they're a person a lot of people want to be around, which is maybe why I felt the resistance for them to have information plucked about them, because they might be a little more protective of their, I don't know, I just don't get someone very forthcoming about all the things they do or who they are. And then the star in reverse. I literally just said, I don't feel someone very forthcoming. Yeah, this is a humble person. This isn't someone who is bragging about all the things they do to help people. This isn't someone who is seeking to be the center of attention. One of their best traits is, I don't think they necessarily blend. It seems like they stand out, but they're not looking to stand out. They're not trying to be the star. They just want to do the right thing. Like, they just want to be a good person. They want to help people. Yeah, I get that energy. Okay, and then they're very hardworking. So not only are they your wish come true, blah, 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 but they're also hardworking and a patient individual. I hear them say, I wait for what I want. So they're not someone who abandons ship or is a fair weather friend or very up and down. It seems like this is a very stable person too. Very stable emotions. I think the only thing is that I feel negative in their positive traits. And it's not even negative. It's just that like their humility can be taken to maybe a bit of the extreme where they don't think very highly of themselves, and that may be something that like bothers. I feel like it bothers you because you're like, why don't you see how great you are? Literally everyone would want to be with you, but it's like, it's weird because they also know that people would want to be with them, but maybe they think people would want to be with them for the wrong reasons. So all right, we're gonna look at some of their negative traits for a second here, and their card was mentor, inability to allow the student to move on the role of master, imparting false instruction. Now, I don't feel like your person imparts false instruction, but I do feel like maybe they get attached to the people they help, and so they have a hard time letting them go. So one of the issues with this person might be that even here with the shadow attribute, keeps the rescued one needy. So it's like they help people and they mentor them, but they don't want, like, they want the person to succeed. It's not that they don't want the person to succeed, but they want the person to almost stay reliant on them. Like, this is a person who likes being needed. And I don't think, again, based on their card spread, I definitely don't feel like this is at the toxic level it could be, where it's like they're, keying your car or something so you still need them, or doing crazy things so that way you stay with them. It's more so just, I don't know, I feel like a tinge of sadness. Like, they might not really want someone, like when someone's in their crew or they like someone or someone, they're mentoring someone, they don't want that person to go away. All right. Okay, and so that's what it is. Thank you, Spirit. So for this shadow attribute, part of it might be that they will kind of slow down what they're teaching someone. So this isn't someone to not like let someone move on and be better. They would do it, but they'll just kind of like instead of, I told you this person didn't want to give me all the information. They're very almost stingy about information about themselves or about what they do or who they are. But I feel like part of that is they'll slow it down. Like I don't know, I feel like they kind of slow down the amount of knowledge they could give in a given time. So say they could teach you 10 recipes in 2 days. Instead, they would spread it out to be like 10 recipes over 10 days. So that way they have a little more time. It's kind of cute, but it's not bad at all, because some people actually need this. Like they can't learn 10 recipes in 1 day. But in essence, like saying someone could learn if they see your potential and how much you could do, I think they like potential too, like they see how great you could be, that they'll almost like keep you closer. They're like, oh, I'll just kind of like take my time, so that way I have a little more time with this person. I think this is someone I'm also getting who has one of their qualities you may not like is that they may not be very chatty. Like, I don't know, I get kind of like they don't always tell you how they feel. Like they're not honest about it. And so it can be, it's not manipulative in, like, if there were any sort of manipulation, there's no ill intent behind it. Like they're not trying to keep anyone down. Yeah, I hear no. Like they're not trying to keep anyone down or keep anyone from succeeding. They want people to succeed genuinely from the bottom of their heart. But they like being a relied upon figure. They like being like daddy or mommy, or they like having that like title and people to be attached to them. I don't know. And I think they have a hard time saying how they feel. So instead they'll just kind of like hold you closer, which may be something you like. I do get a physical touch person, someone who really likes touching. But yeah. And another negative thing is, what am I feeling with this judgments card? Yeah, okay. I feel like that is reconfirmation of what I said, where they will slow the communication down, or they'll slow down giving you everything at once, because even if you could handle it and they know that would help you move faster, they'll make it take a little longer because they want to spend more time. Kind of dragging things out, even if they don't have to be. I think you find this thing cute, but, and they would do something like that for you. So for instance, I feel like if you're on a date and they want to keep spending time with you, they'll just like, they'll keep you talking. So they'll keep you talking. Like they won't be talking, they'll just be listening, but they'll keep you talking. So you just keep going, or like they bring up a subject you really like. So that way you'll just be animated and talk. This is kind of that energy. Instead of just saying like, I want to spend more time with you, they'll kind of just subtly, they'll subtly be like, oh, you really like roller coasters? What's your favorite roller coaster? And so then you just like go on this whole speech about a roller coaster you went on instead of going. Yeah. So we got the Fool again. Weird. Do I have cross watchers in this pile? Potentially. I'm looking at you guys. I know you guys. I know you're out there. So Two of Pentacles and Fool. Yeah, I think they're quite stubborn. It's actually one of their good traits, because I think, like, it could be a good or bad. Like I said in the previous pile, good, bad traits. It's really relative. Like there are no traits that are always bad or always good, because sometimes being too helpful in times where you need to maybe get something done can be negative, and vice versa and all that. But I do feel like they're rather stable, and also I feel well off financially. That could be it. Or they just have they have a solid grip on their finances, that's for sure. Like they're not someone who is up and down with finances. Is very like, there's a stable energy with this person. And so I think they resist change a lot, which is why another thing of that negative or positive trait, where it's like if they're used to mentoring someone, they want to keep mentoring them. Like they don't want them to, it's not that they don't want them to become successful and be their own, become a mentor and mentor other people. It's like they like that person, they like mentoring that person, they want to keep doing it. And so the idea that person is going to graduate and leave them, this may be someone who has a bit of a slight abandonment fear, or who doesn't really like the idea of people leaving them. They'll kind of slow that process down. And once again with this Fool, I feel like that's the same with last pile, where it's like they're aware of this trait of theirs, but yeah, and I think they work to transform it. Like they know that they can do this. And again, there's no ill intent on their side. I don't think this negative trait, like you might be like, ooh, this seems like a manipulative, awful person, but I'm not getting that. Yeah, I'm not getting that energy of them being like they wouldn't lie to their students, or if they are a teacher, they wouldn't lie to their students, or they wouldn't like fail someone who deserves to pass. But it's just like, I don't know, it kind of be like they would be like, oh, I'm gonna teach this other course too, just because I like the students, or something like that, you know? Just kind of like small things to keep people by them if they really like them. Okay, so any other further good traits? And because they're so observant, like, they can do this, because I think they pay attention when people talk. I do get that they're a very good listener, and so they know, like, what people like and what people don't like. And so if they want to keep someone by them, yeah, I'm getting shivers. They know how to do that. Like, they know how to keep you by them, because they're likable. Like, who, in some ways, like, they're likable in a different sense. Like, they're not likable like, oh, I'm bubbly, ha ha ha, chi chi chi, like, I'm entertaining. They're likable like, whoa, you get me, or you understand me. I think they, and like I said, I told you, they said they kind of have this energy of like, I can make anyone see in me what I want them to see. And not because they're fake, but just because they listen. Like, they actually listen. You would be surprised how far you get listening. And I think this person is a listener. And so once they know things about you, they'll bring them up again, or they'll do things that remind you of that. Like, they're not going to just, it's not in one ear and out the other. They listen, they actually listen. And so this trait can keep people close to them, or keeps people coming back, because they're like, oh man, like, I finally am being listened to. I'm finally heard. I'm finally understood. I'm finally loved. And yeah, this could definitely be a very manipulative, it could, again, let me say this again, could be a manipulative person. I don't think it is, okay? This person they don't operate from that energy. Like, they don't operate from contentious, I want to hurt people, I want to, you know, make people my slaves, and I want to keep people back because I don't want them to succeed. Like, that's not their energy. It's like, I just like you, and so I want to spend a little more time with you, but I don't know how to say that, so I'll just kind of like subtly manipulate the situation so you stay by me. Yeah, I think this is someone very empowered. So that's why I told you they don't cheat, they don't lie, they don't steal, they don't even manipulate in the way that they are capable of. Like, they don't, yeah, I'm hearing like, I don't do that. I don't need to do that. Like, I don't have to fail students to keep them in, or I don't have to make sure my students, my mom or my daughter never goes to school, so that way I can like have control. Like, they're not that type of person. They're empowered, but that is just something, like, if they like you, they'll just kind of, you know, be a little sneaky, kind of get you to stay around them if they like you a lot. Yeah, again, they may have had abandonment issues where a parent left them, or I don't know, they just kind of felt like people wouldn't stay, and so to get like, or it could also be that they were told speaking their mind wasn't a good thing, or like, you have to speak your mind all the time. And so it's like, this person, I feel like it's speaking your mind wasn't a good thing, though. Like, they didn't, most of them, and so they didn't learn how to communicate feelings. I feel like this is someone who has a lot of feelings. I see that. Like, they don't have any, except the Fool, maybe Judgment. They don't really have any air signs or anything. And I don't think that's because, like, they don't think. I think they think a lot. I just think they don't, like, they're not a communicator. They're not a super chatty person. And I think that is because in childhood it was, like, frowned upon in some way for them to reveal, even if it wasn't frowned upon for them to talk and be chatty, it was frowned upon them to like reveal their heart, or to be genuine. And like, so this is someone who I definitely feel like has armor on, and that's one of their good and bad traits, but they have armor on. You're not going to know that this is like a soft or like very gooey person when you first meet them. Yeah, I feel like no, like they keep it lighter. Like, they don't show all the heavy stuff about them. You have to undress them slowly. Anything else that I am seeing? Anything else? Yeah, you got Cancer, so maybe they have Cancer in their chart. They don't have to, but yeah, I do feel like this is someone who, I'm not saying mommy issues, because it doesn't, like, again, this person works at it, but I kind of feel like they I don't know, they just didn't feel nurtured. I feel like they weren't nurtured properly as a child for the person they were. And so they've learned to keep things underneath a mask, or underneath protection. And yeah. But they're very loving. Like, this is a very loving person, just underneath. And again, when you meet them or you talk to them, you will think they're perfect for you. They are very, like, they have that energy that they can just, and it's not manipulative, they're just good listeners. And so you're like, man, like, you're perfect. Like, you listen, and you're humble, and you're solid, you're reliable. And so I think you really like that about them, that they're a reliable person who will be there if you need them. Yeah. But yeah, that's all I'm seeing for you, Pile 2. If you enjoyed this reading, comment down below, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Okay, pile number 3, if you chose the peacock copper, then this is your reading. So it says, I confidently show my true colors to others. I am fabulous. And it was funny because the last pile I was trying to channel and I felt like I was hitting a brick wall. I was like, do you not want me to channel pile 2 or do you not have a future spouse? And you, as soon as I went to go get the deck of cards and shuffle out for your card, I heard like, hell yeah, like this person was ready. So this person definitely, for their good traits, I think they definitely have an energy. They're kind of the star of the show. Like they're ready to go. They're open to communicate. They're open people. Very open book. They're not. Yeah, I feel like they have a lot of sides to them with the way this is multicolored, but they're not hiding any of them. Like they're very confident in their skin. It was so cute. They're like, heck yeah, like let them know about me. Let them know the best traits. All right. So, and that kind of gave me Leo energy, but you know, fire sign energy in general, Aries, Sagittarius. What is the best trait of pile number 3? Okay, and then the worst trait. The worst trait. I hear them saying like I don't have any. They're funny. I think this person's also very funny. All right, so let's start with the best trait. Mother. Nurturance, patience, unconditional love, joy in giving birth to life. Okay, so pile number 3. Your person's, I think their best trait is that they're very nurturing. They're loving. They're I think they're touchy-feely. I get that they're very in a playful manner, not necessarily sensual. It can be, but they'll give hugs. Like, I don't know. I feel like this is, if this were a woman or a man, I mean, they're kind of like a hugger. You know, they're like, oh, I just like to give hugs. They like children. I kind of get that idea. Like, they like kids. They enjoy being soft. Like, they enjoy all the soft parts of being a human being. Guy, and this is guy or girl. Like, this is just someone who is a little more in touch with their femininity. Even if it's a guy, I kind of feel like I get like a theater guy, you know what I'm saying? Where they're an actor or something and they're just like a little more fluid. They don't have to be like, you know, gay or bisexual or anything like that, but they're just a little more effeminate, but not in a bad way. Again, not at all in a bad way. They're not afraid to be themselves. Like so many men, you know, put up armor and try and be all tough, but this is not one of those people. They don't have to do that. They don't care about that. They're like, I don't give a F what anyone thinks about me. Like, you know, they're like, I am who I am and I have so much to offer. Yeah, this is someone who either has a very good front or really worked through their crap. And I feel like it is they really worked through their crap. So they're emotional in a good way. Like I feel like they have control of their emotions. So they show what they want to show. It's funny because they say, I confidently show my true colors to others. I am fabulous. But I feel like if they don't want you to see something, they won't. So they won't. So they're like, this is someone who could put on a poker face. Again, they actively choose not to. They enjoy just being who they are, feeling how they are. And I think this is a result of some tough experiences they've had, some defeats they've had. This may have been someone who was super masculine or super hiding behind a mask, and they've learned that that's not how they want to live their life. And so they've taken the mask off. They've stopped trying to be tough or cool. Yeah, this is someone, I hear them like, I don't care about being tough or cool. Like, that's so... I think I read something once where someone was like, you know, F what other people say is manly and cool. I think it's unmanly to do what other men tell you to do and to not be true to yourself. And that's so true, you know? So this person is not afraid to be loving, to be touchy, to be more feminine, to be in their feelings. They are open about that. Yeah, I feel they're open about that. And I think you like that. Like, they're like, I'm fabulous. Like, and if you're gay, then that just goes with this. But you don't have to be again. This is still, if you're straight, like, I feel like that's just kind of how this person is. Yeah. And if you are, like, straight and you're looking for, like, a male or, you know, vice versa, you're a female looking for a male looking for a female, it doesn't matter, they, them. Like, it doesn't matter what it is, but I feel like if it applies to you, then they can be a little more stoic, but they're still loving. Like, I don't know, they have a loving energy to them. For some of you, they may be a little less touchy-feely. Like, they may have, if they're not feminine and they're more masculine, because I do get another thing with this King of Cups, they could be masculine. If they are kind of more masculine, they're not masculine repressed. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not masculine, I'm going to punch a wall. Like, this is someone who has their emotions understood. If they are calm and quiet and sitting in the background, it's because they want to sit in the background. Like, they don't have, again, this is someone who has nothing to prove to anyone. That's what I feel. And you really like that. I mean, I like that. Who doesn't like that? Someone who's genuine to who they are and is not worried about, I just hear them saying, like, I'm not worried about it. Like, there's so much. They live in their emotions, though. They definitely have a lot of emotions. And, they're not afraid to, they honor them. They're not something to be afraid of. Like, this is not someone who runs from feelings. All right. And so for their Dark attribute, because we've got a little bit of light. Let's look at the dark. So they have the mediator, negotiating with an ulterior motive or hidden agenda, either personally or professionally. So I don't know if this person is in the arts. For a lot of you, I feel like they are, like they're a musician or like a TikTok star or something like that, where it's like part of their income comes from like being themselves. Not that influences are always themselves, but you get that kind of idea, like that they're in some type of showbiz or theater or something. I just get that energy heavy. But I think the other side of that is that they're genuine to themselves. That's the true nature. But they can, I feel like they can connect with people ingenuinely, if that makes sense. Like they could, and this could be, we'll look a little more into it, but it almost feels like sometimes the people they surround themselves with aren't people who are actually good people or genuine, but they're people who could help raise their status or help them get more followers or views or something like that. Or just like help them further whatever it is that they want. Can I get a shadow attribute? Okay. Yeah, I think they can have a tendency to be kind of superficial in their engagements with other people. And it's funny because I think this might be kind of, I feel an energy of this is kind of what you don't like, but it's not even something they notice. Yeah, because I feel like I don't think they really look at it that way. They kind of just look at it as like, I'm just being myself, and if people want to latch on to me, then so freaking be it. You know, I'm not going to stop being me. Or if girls want to date me or guys want to date me. This could also be someone who, before you know, because again, this is your future spouse, before you, they were in quite a few relationships or quite a few, like, flings. They just didn't really take stuff too seriously. So, and like they might have dated people they did videos with, or they might have dated other actresses or other musicians or someone in a record company, you know. And it didn't, again, I don't feel like this feels disingenuine to your person. So it's not like they go into situations like, I'm gonna manipulate this person just so I can get ahead. Like, that's not their mentality at all. It's just like, oh, this person does this, I think it kind of piques their interest, and I'm like, oh well, we could vibe together as long as they're cool and they're like cool with me being who I am. And your person is so attractive to people, like they're just a magnet, that's how they do it, that they'll just kind of unintentionally do that. Yeah, and I think it's like they use their connections to not have to work so hard sometimes. Like, instead of doing hard work, they use their personality to skate by. And this could be in any job. So even if they're not in showbiz, though I do feel showbiz heavy, or like, you know, the arts, even if they're not in the arts, it's like they can use their charm to not actually like put in the work towards things. So I don't really, no offense to you, pile 3, and this is not a bad thing at all, I don't really get a hard worker energy from this pile. They might have been in the past, actually. I hear like they might have been, but it was just too late. Like, if I'm this charming, like, why am I gonna, yeah, I hear them saying like, if I'm this charming, why am I gonna bother working so hard? So this could have been someone who went to a social media-esque career or something like that. But yeah, they can kind of use their charm to get their way, or to like work with people so they don't have to do so much. I don't know. Or like people will bring them things. I don't know. I feel like partners specifically might bring them things. Like, if they were dating a girl, she would like buy them a car or something. You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of thing. And they didn't mean anything by it. It's not like they were like, oh, go buy me a car, or you should buy me a car for a video. It's just like people like them so much, they'll just do these things for this person. Oh, yeah, they're a charmer. They're a little charmer. I kind of feel like they're a heartbreaker. They're a heartbreaker until you. Again, this is your future spouse. So I think they kind of decide to obviously leave the games because of you, but I think people can still also get the wrong idea about them a lot because they are just so friendly or touchy-feely, or they just kind of do whatever. Okay. Are we going here? Yeah. So we have the universe in reverse, 2 of Pentacles in reverse, and the Sun in reverse. Yeah. Okay. So they are just, I don't know. This person's a really good time to be around. They're fun. They're charming. They can hold a great conversation. They're funny. But on the other end of it, it's like they don't always finish everything they start. They just kind of, again, this is someone who kind of skates by in life. And I don't mean that negatively by any means. Like, I'm not reading this person negatively, because again, they nurture, they patience, unconditional love. Like, they just love people. They're just a lover. They're just I hear them saying that, like, I'm just a lover. Like, I'm a loving person. I have a lot of love to give, and people can misconstrue that a lot, which is why they say, I confidently show my true colors to others. I am fabulous. Like, I think they're done managing people's perceptions or trying to make people understand that they're not owed any parts of them just because they're being themselves. But people naturally kind of latch onto them, or they get very attached to this person because they're so fun. Like, they're just a person you want to be around. I don't know. I just feel their energy already. It's like, wow, if you see them or you meet them, you're almost like automatically in love with them, or you automatically want to be around them more. You know, they just have that kind of energy. And so I think a lot of people just want to partner with them or like get together with them, and so they don't really they can do that. Yeah, I get this with all of these like twos coming out. Feels like they don't work alone. Like, there's always someone with them. They may not like being alone very much, but yeah. Let's see any of the positive traits for pile number 3. Okay. Yeah, they're a good mirror. I think they're a really good partner. I feel up until you, they didn't want to be chained down. I think you kind of changed the game for them in that sense, but they are very good at, I think they're really good conflict. I think this is another reason why people like them, is that they're very good with conflict. They're not someone to, like, they know how to handle conflict. Like, if something goes wrong, they are quick to address the problem. I guess what I'm trying to say is this is not someone who's passive aggressive. Yeah, no, with King Cuff's emotional maturity, they're not passive aggressive. So this is not someone to be like, oh, that's funny, but it's not funny, you know, or like kind of just do like sly little tricks. This is not that kind of person, which is probably why so many people want to work with them. It's like if they think something is off or up, they'll talk to you like, and I think they do have this serious side to them. They're very fun-loving energy in general. They're goofy. They want to laugh. They want to have fun. But if there's conflict, like, I think it was like that. Like, you just see this other side. They have I told you, they have a lot of sides to them. And if there's conflict, you will see that other side. It's not a bad side. It is a mature side ready to handle the issue. So if something goes wrong, they're like, okay, well then what? Like, what are we doing? What happened? Why did this happen? Let's deal with this and then let's move on. And like this, I don't think this is also someone to carry the past with them. No. They don't carry that. Like, they don't carry that energy with them. They're like, we handled it, and once we handle it, we're done. And so I think a lot of people get attached to them, and if there is conflict, they may, again, they just really, this person has a lot of people who want to latch onto them. And I think that is also because they have, I feel, just some level of fame, or they want fame, or there's like some level of people watching them, which is why people get so attached. But like, they're like, I'm just doing me. Like, you are not owed anything about me. But yeah, they're really good conflict managers, and I think that also here with mediator, that's their light attribute. Like, they're really good at being fair. Again, I don't get the energy of trying to manipulate or trying to get people to do what they want. It's just like people naturally want to do what they want because they're so awesome. All right. Okay, but I do get one more little shadow attribute here, that they can have a tendency to be a little head in the clouds, you know? This isn't... their emotions are in check, but they can kind of... they're so fun-loving that, I don't know. I kind of get the energy where they don't know... They know where to stop. Let me correct. They know where to stop. Like, they know where the stopping point is, but it's like... They kind of live in a world... I guess this negative trait isn't necessarily a negative trait per se, but I feel like you might feel like they don't really live in the real world. Like, there are all these issues going on, and not that this person isn't aware of them, because I think they are aware, but they just, like, they're not going to dim their shine for everyone. Like, there will, I guess in their eyes, I kind of hear this, like, there will always be people suffering, and yes, I want to help them, and yes, I have love, so anyone, I feel like their way of dealing with the sadness of the world, or their way of dealing with all the conflicts they see, is to just be the best version of them. You know, they're like, I can't solve world hunger, but every person I meet, I can be kind and loving to. You know what I mean? Like, this, I definitely feel this is the type of person to buy a homeless person a meal, or like, you know, they finish an expensive meal at a restaurant with you or something, and afterwards they'll give their leftovers to someone else. Like, they're not trying to hold on to anything. They're not hoarders. They're very free and very giving, but it's like they're not actively working to solve the world's problem. Like, I think their main enjoyment in life is just to enjoy life. That is what they want. And so, at times I can kind of be like, well, you know, there's all this stuff going on. It's like, they're like, yeah, there's all this stuff going on, but like, I think they're just kind of like, what can I do about it? You know, like, I'm one person, I live in this world, all I can do is be kind and loving and genuine to every person I interact with, which is why people end up latching onto them, because it's like, oh, this person is genuine, and they're loving, and they're cool, and it's like, oh, man, and funny. They have a very, I think you have a lot of, for you, Pile 3, you'll have a lot of stories with your future spouse, a lot of adventures. I feel that, like, travel, you have a lot of things to say about it. They'll be like, oh, yeah, remember that one time we, like, crashed into the McDonald's sign. No, I'm not saying they're that reckless, but, we crashed into the McDonald's sign and then we got free ice cream cones or something. Like crazy stuff like that. They have great stories because their life is like this wonderful story unfolding. So yeah, that's all I'm seeing for you, pile number 3. If you enjoyed this reading, comment down below, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Okay, hello, pile 4. If you chose this card, the Golden Topaz, then this is going to be your reading. So, it says, I step forward with joy and enthusiasm. I see my path shining brightly before me. Wow. So, pile number 4. I think your future spouse, one of their best traits is they are optimistic, obviously. I think they just have a lot of, like, they're like a clear conduit for spirituality or anything. I don't know, I get eager energy where they're ready to learn anything, they're ready to jump into anything, and they're just always happy. Like, they're just like, yeah, like, let's do it. Okay. We have Father for their light attribute and their shadow, Slave. Okay. Ooh, this person is so interesting. Okay. Pile number 4. So with Father coming out, yeah, they're shining. They shine. Like, this person has a shining quality to them, and they're just ready to undertake things. This is a very passionate, not necessarily, they don't have to be go-getter, but it's like they're just ready. They don't worry about, like, will this work out? I don't know. I just get someone who, it's not that they don't plan, because they do, but it's just they do it. They're a doer. They're not someone who just talks and talks. They step forward on their path. Every time they see their path illuminate a little more, they keep walking. It's almost like if they're in a dark forest and they're the light, they keep walking to guide other people. They're the person at the front of the line holding the torch. They're a leader, I guess, is really what I'm seeing. And being a leader, you are normally the boldest. You have to be the boldest and the bravest, because you have to, not only are you worried about you, but you have to guide other people to do the same. So this is also someone who's definitely a guide. Their light attribute for Father is talent for creating and supporting life, positive guiding light within a tribal unit. They shine. That's really what it is. And I think they use that. I get with this Father card and this Golden Topaz, they use that to help other people. They guide the way for other people to do the same. So let's see what else about their light attributes. I saw the 6 of Pentacles really briefly, and I feel like that also speaks to their generosity. They're a very generous person. I feel like this is like, if you're asking about a guy, this is definitely someone who is a dad type, like the type of man you would want to make a father. If you're asking about a female, I feel like she is almost like the same. Like, it's not, she just, if it's a more feminine person, then they run. Like, I don't know, this is someone who runs things, but they're not aggressive. Like, that's not how they run things. They run things by being it, They're a person who's like, if you're going to lead, that's what I feel them saying. If you're going to lead by example. And so they actively lead by example every day. And so, yeah, I think someone just has to be joyous. You have to keep the morale up of your group. No one ever wins people over by just, like, straight hating. Like, you have to show people that there's something worth believing in. And I think this person does that. Yeah. Look at this with their new ideas. This person shows people the way in whatever they do. I think people are very attracted to this person. I think they're also very good looking. I don't know. Golden Topaz just seems like a pretty card to me. Yeah. Okay. So we have the Ace of Pentacles and the Knight of Swords. This is someone who is a excellent manifester, excellent manifester, and also someone who is always ready to get those new opportunities. Like, if things don't work out, this person will be like, again, I step forward with joy and enthusiasm. Okay, that didn't work out. Time to try something else. And so they show you what it means to be resilient. They show you what it means to see a good leader. They show you, like, basically not an ideal person, but someone you would want to be like. Like, I don't know. This person is inspirational. Definitely could be like a cult leader. They're not a cult leader. I don't think so. But, they have that kind of energy where they could, because people would want to follow them because of how they are. And I feel like, yeah, okay, with this Knight of Swords, I feel as if they use their powers for good. Like, I don't know, this is someone who, I just said, it was funny because I was like, oh, they could be a cult leader. It's like, they could be a cult leader, but they choose to just try and help people become the best versions of themselves. Like, that's what they care about. They don't care about, being, I feel like this is someone who doesn't really care about power, strangely enough, even though they wield a lot of it. They have a lot of power, but they don't care about it. It's not why they do what they do. They don't do what they do to get followers. They don't do what they do to get people to fight for them. They do what they do because they want they just have a light and they want to shine that and they want other people to shine theirs. So I do think they are a bit restless, and they can be a little restless because they're just always trying to go. But yeah, I don't know. They're just ambitious. They're really ready to go. So let's look at their shadow attribute. For the shadow attribute, we have giving your willpower to an external authority out of fear of making choices. Yeah. Okay, I feel like it's the opposite for this person, where they're very resistant. I'm hearing that. Yeah, they're very resistant to, this could be someone who is like an atheist or who isn't very religious, but I do feel like they're resistant of giving up their will. Now, this is not a controlling person. I told you that. They don't, they're not trying to control other people's lives. They just want other people to be the best versions of themselves. But for them, they don't, in terms of like bowing down to a spirit or a god or someone greater than them, they resist that very heavily. Like, this is a rebellious person for sure in that sense. It's like they don't want to bow down to anyone. I wouldn't be surprised if the person owns their own business or company or does something that involves where they're in control, because they wouldn't want to, and they don't want to control other people, but they don't want to be underneath someone. You know, they're not someone to take I guess orders very well. Especially orders, I feel like they don't understand or have no foundation for them to base it off of. Like, if someone's just like, go fix this, and they don't give a reason, this person's like, why? You know, like, I'm not just gonna go do that. Yeah. Okay. So, alright. So yeah, and with the 5 of Wands, so it feels like sometimes, I told you they kind of have restless energy. Feels like sometimes their energy can be scattered because they're not willing to give up their willpower. You know, they're very, it's my, I don't know, not like it's my way or the highway, but kind of like they just have a very, they don't like not, they don't, how do I put this? They don't want to control other people, but they don't like not being in control, if that makes sense. Like, they're not controlling, so I hear no. Like, they're not going to just tell you what to do. Like, this isn't someone to treat you like you're a child. Unless you're acting like a child. So don't act like a child. Or like, if you're being super immature or something, you know, and trying to have an argument, then yeah, they're going to treat you like a child. But like, if you're a solid adult who is matured and advanced, they're obviously not going to treat you like a child. But they don't really like, they just don't like bowing down. So they'll fight way, I think, longer than necessary is what I'm hearing. Like, they'll keep going longer than necessary when it would be better for them sometimes to just surrender and give a little, but they're very stubborn. So I guess that's their negative trait. Yeah, like, even when they should, I just feel like even when they're overwhelmed, it's like, it would help just to give a little to someone else, you know, like, let someone else do some stuff, or outsource something. Like, if they had a company, they'd want to run everything, you know, they're very hands-on. They want to be active in everything. Yeah, I feel that they're active. Like, they don't want to just sit on the sidelines or just run something on autopilot. They want to be in each step, like, you know, so that can kind of get a little... Yeah, they don't want to be anybody's puppet. I'm no one's puppet, you know, I'm no one's puppet on a string. I do what I want. Yeah. Alright, so something else is, for a lot of you, this person may be very outgoing, but because the Hermit pops out at all, I kind of feel like for a chunk of you, they may also need a good amount of recharge time. So as they're going and trying to help people, this is someone to, yeah, I'm getting shivers, kind of recede into their shell to figure out what they think is best. I think that's a really good trait of theirs, so they don't get too, caught up in the demands of other people or caught up in being too controlling. It's like, okay, if they are kind of like pushing too hard or pushing their narrative too hard, they'll kind of just like, they're like, okay, I got to take a step back. So they'll kind of just recede into themselves for a bit and figure things out, and then they'll come back and shine again. And I feel like this is just generally, yeah, a happy person. Like, this is someone who is, I would describe them as easy to be around. They're not someone you have to try and impress. I don't get that energy. They're not someone you have to guide or make decisions for. They're not someone who, like, they're not pushy, but they're not docile either. Like, this is someone who has I think a good balance in the sense of, like, say, you know how some people never know what they want for dinner? This is someone who would, like, know what they want for dinner, but at the same time, if you said, hey, I want this for dinner, they're like, okay, cool, let's do that, you know? So they have this good balance going on in them that they know how to, like, balance out their happiness to make other people happy as well as themselves. They don't sacrifice either. And I think that's kind of the other thing. Yeah, this person just can take on too much, because they don't want to, like, surrender or give it to other people to do. Like, they may not trust other people easy, or they may not, get, like, mistrust. They don't trust people easy. So, They're not willing to just give things up. Yeah. Yeah, they'll walk away from the whole thing before giving something up. Like, how to put this? Like, rather than, it's so crazy to me, but like, rather than being in a company, this is just an example, okay? But rather than being in a company where they have to, like, give up their creative vision, for instance, like, say they were on the design and someone's like, oh, give it up. Then they're like, no, I'll just leave this job. Like, I'll go somewhere else. Like, I'll go somewhere that sees what I'm offering. So this is definitely, I think that's a good and a bad thing, is they're not afraid to start over. They're not afraid to leave things. They're like, okay, bye, And I think that's because they have their own vision. Like, this is someone who has drive. Okay. I think it's a tower. Yeah, they're not afraid for, I don't know, I'm not afraid to get down and dirty. Yeah. And they're not afraid, I think sometimes, okay, I hear this, yeah. Sometimes they can not want to admit defeat for their negative traits. Like, sometimes it's like, you should let that go. Like, that's not, you can't help that. And they're like, no, I can help it. This is someone who's very, stubborn and really wants, like, their enthusiasm is their best trait, but also I feel like it can almost blind them to thinking they can do a lot more than they can and overexert themselves towards something. Yeah. But I also get this person who's very loving to animals. They may ride horses specifically if that applies, but if not, like, they love animals, and I think they love movies. Like, I don't know, they like engaging with the world. I get that. They like engaging with the world. And I think you like this trait of theirs, that they engage with the world, because I think by engaging with the world, that's how they get their ideas. Like, that's how they expand their knowledge and become a better leader. Yeah. I want to get another, I feel like there's, I don't know, I feel like they want to tell you something else. I'm just getting an energy. Let's see. What is a positive attribute? I don't know. I feel like they're, for you, because you're their future spouse, I for some reason feeling like they're a little conscious of themselves. Like, I don't know if they know they do this, but also they don't want you, their future spouse, watching this, to think badly of them. Like, they wouldn't want you to think, I don't know, they're like, I don't want you to read me the wrong way. So, we have rebel. I told you they have rebellious. Okay, so challenges authority to affect social change. Reject spiritual systems that do not serve inner needs. See, feel like this, for some of you, this person isn't spiritual, but even if they are, it's like, maybe it's because they were in a very constrictive religion before that they've decided to leave the religion, and like, that's why they just follow their own inner light. Like, they follow their inner light. They don't have to, like, read the Bible to get guidance on what to do. They're like, I'm just going to follow my light. That's what I'll do. And so I also think it's because they want to change the world where people are more, it may be that they want the world to be more understanding, more supportive of each other. And so, like, I think they want to tell you, like, part of their best trait, but also, like, this thing that you might view as negative is, like, I hear them saying, like, I challenge authority, or I challenge these things to make the world better. So I think there's someone who, it's funny because it's kind of different from pile 3. The previous pile was like someone who just wanted to have a good time. They weren't really worried about it. This is someone who does good for humanity, or is a guiding light, uses their own persona or their energy to guide, or to, like, to charm people, but it's not for themselves that they do it, or it's not just to enjoy life. They're very purposeful. This is a purposeful and vision-oriented person. They have reasons for what they do. They shine their light, but they don't shine their light just to shine it, or because it's there and that's who they are. They shine it because they want to guide people somewhere. They're trying to take people somewhere on a journey, or they're trying to get society, or whoever's watching them, or whoever's engaging with them, to get somewhere. So this is a father figure. Again, they have a purpose. Like, they're supporting the life. Part of being a father is, like, being support for your children, helping, guiding them when they make mistakes, what choices to make, how to run their finances, how to fix a flat on a car, So this is this person's kind of energy. They're not just here to shine, they're here to guide. I hear that. Like, I'm here to guide people. And so sometimes that means I have to get down and dirty. Sometimes that means, and not down and dirty like sneaky. They're not sneaky at all. But kind of down and dirty, like, I have to fight the system. I have to rebel against the system. Like, they're very, this may be someone who doesn't, for some of you, they don't believe in traditional marriage. But for others of you, they do. Like, I feel like for a lot of them, they do believe in traditional marriage. It's just like, they reject things. They reject the status quo for being just the status quo. Like, they're not, I feel like this person is not someone who, for their good traits, like, they don't reject the status quo just to be edgy. They reject the status quo if it doesn't further, like, they don't feel like it has a purpose, Like, I told you they question that. They're like, well, why? Like, if I'm gonna do something, why? Like, it needs to have a purpose. I think they can almost be too purposeful, where it's like, if it doesn't have a purpose, why the heck am I doing it? You know, if it's not serving this inner need, or if it's not serving this vision they have, why would I put my energy towards it? So, yeah. But that is all I'm seeing for you. Am I seeing anything else? Hold on. I don't know. It's being drawn to this Five of Wands. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like the negative traits, they can just go toe and toe for hours. Like, I don't know. This person is someone, if you get in a verbal argument with them, they'll keep going until they feel like you've reached a consensus. And I feel like sometimes that's the wrong energy, because they're like, well, you know, if you don't want to argue with them, then maybe this is the kind of person to be like, oh, you don't really care. I'm not saying this is, okay? It's just gonna like be a kind of thing where it's like they want to understand why, like because they're like, well, then why are we fighting? Like, what is the reason that we're fighting? And it's kind of like, it's like they miss the emotional part of it, where it's like it doesn't always have to be something bigger. I don't know. I think this person has a tendency to they look at the large scale, that sometimes they have struggle scaling things down. And so it might be just something you have to remind them, like, sweetie, we're not trying to change the world here. Like, I just want you to do your dishes because, you know, it just makes it's easier on me, and I get tired at the end of the day. And it's like, you know, not everything is so big. But I think you really like their vision. Like, I don't know. This is someone who you obviously are willingly following because they have this vision. So, yeah. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, comment down below pile number 4, and I will see you in the next one, okay? Bye.